Welcome, one and all, to this momentous occasion, this once in a lifetime experience, this race between two titans. Almaperian on the left, Dplanet on the right. We're just going to give them a minute to set up here, let some more people come in, and we'll get started. Before the race starts, I would like to point out that Alma is on a PS5 and Dplanet is running on a PS4. So there will be um, a bit of time difference in RTA. But both of us look like we're ready, so we're going to get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Both of us starting as a military veteran here, just because it has the highest strength and skill. You know, if you want to go fast, you got to do big damage. Imagine that. So you're seeing that they're starting by swapping some gestures around. That's mostly to do some skips later on. And now we begin the long march to the first lamp. It's very eventful. You need to dodge some scary monsters. You need to pull a lever. You even get to pick up an item before you get to light it. The wolf isn't being very charitable today. Dplanet's having a good time, though. I don't think Alma remembered to pet the dog before the run. Yeah. If you don't pet the dog first, it pets you. Not a huge deal, but it's mostly just kind of annoying for Alma. In case you don't know, running up to the lamp and lighting it here is faster than dying to the wolf. So Alma there just grabbed the saw cleaver. I'm not sure what setup Dplanet is going to do. There's a skip later on that orphanage key skip where they may use a saw cleaver to set it up or the threaded cane. Dplanet grabbed both of them, so that's cool. We get to see both setups for that skip. Yeah, you'll see that Alma gets put all the way back here. So, just a little bit slower. Thing about Bloodborne is you just never know what will happen. You know, maybe Dplanet will die to Cleric Beast 5 times, and Alma will pull ahead. It's unpredictable. That animation cancel, by the way, doesn't even save time. Alma just does it because he's cool. Yeah, Dplanet just grabbing some Molotovs. Those are for the first boss. Running past all the bad men. You don't fight bad men in this game if they're not a boss, unless you absolutely have to. This game is a glorified obstacle course when you're speedrunning it. Alright, Dplanet is going for sewer skip here. Let's see if he gets the plunge. He doesn't even go for the plunge. The plunge isn't as safe. It's not that much faster, but it looks flashy. If you could believe it, if you do the sewer skip, you actually skip the sewer part. So that saves about 40 seconds. And you jump at the fence, and you hope. There we go. Smooth as can be. It looked like Alma jumped a little bit to the right there. Dplanet did a little bit of a different setup than you see most of the time. He jumped to the pillar to his left instead of straight forward, but you really got to be precise. If you don't land right on target, then you will you'll quit out and then you'll just be back on the little steps like he is here. See, that just fell short. Alright. See, we're fighting Gascoigne on the stairs because... Well, actually, no, we're not. Because Gascoigne doesn't feel like it today. Thing about this boss is you don't get to decide how the fight goes. He does. If he doesn't feel like fighting on the stairs, you'll fight in the graveyard. But basic strategy here is you go for backstabs when you can. You can stun lock him with R1, L1 combos. And throw Molotovs between parries. And see, this is absolutely critical, is Dplanet just skipped Phase 2. Phase 2 is really annoying, really dangerous. His attacks are difficult to parry in that phase. You can't really stun lock him. He has a lot of attacks with hyper armor. So what you want to do is really back him into a corner, get as much damage off as possible, then go for the backstab while he's transforming. All things considered, very smooth fight on Dplanet's end. Actually, one of the hardest bosses in the game, you'd be surprised. He punishes you if you try to kill him fast. Let's see how Alma's fights go. I'm waiting with bated breath. This is the most suspenseful moment in my life. Oh, see? Gascoigne getting stuck on the gravestones. Another classic. There, he got the swaggy backstab. Pretty awesome. Parrying the follow-ups.
What's that smell?
Wonderful. Pretty textbook so far.
The sweet blood.
Dplanet is just running to Old Yharnam. He grabbed the Hunter set on the way. People say armor doesn't matter in this game, but it kinda does. Your starting set is paper thin, and it has less beasthood on it, which I'll explain the significance of later. But you can tank just a little bit more chip damage if you have the Hunter set, so it's safe to grab it, for a race. Alfred wants to be his friend. He doesn't want to be his friend, though. You were just using him for fire paper. Never gonna talk to him again. Those dogs, by the way, super annoying. That is why Dplanet had the quit up menu pulled out. If sometimes they will block your exit, they'll nibble at your heels while you're trying to run through the door. Dogs in this game are really annoying, just like in all their other games, but at least they don't teleport in this one. Oh, this is one of my favorite things to see. Is Mr. Wolf going to accompany Dplanet during Old Yharnam skip? Is he going to follow him all the way? Nah, it doesn't look like it. Normally you wouldn't grab that lamp, but it's in a race if you die to Old Yharnam skip, which definitely won't happen because he's too good at the game. But if that were to happen in some alternate universe where it was possible, it would be devastating to have to go all the way back to Cathedral Ward. Alright, went pretty smoothly there. Again, you saw he had the quit out menu pulled up, just as a precaution. If you know you're going to miss the jump and die, then you can quit out and try again. It loses time, but it's a lot better than dying, of course. That skip isn't exactly... It's not the most difficult skip in the world, but a lot of things can go wrong. You just gotta make a slight error, and then you go splat. More lovely dogs. By the way, that Beast Blood pellets are the most important item in this game. Those are what make the speedrun work. They are absolutely broken. You won't really be able to see that on this fight, but with some of the fights later on, especially in the DLC, the way those bosses get annihilated. No complex tricks or anything like that. You just use the Beast Blood pellet, and then your damage goes brrr. So strategy for BSB is pretty simple. Assuming she behaves, it should be a pretty scripted boss. You buff up, and then you throw these blood cocktails at the wall. These just attract enemies, and they work on some bosses, including this one. So assuming she doesn't jump back or go at a weird angle with one of her claws that will hit you by like a pixel, then it's fine. And that move that he did a couple times in the back half of that fight, you do the charged R2, and then that will put the enemy in a state where you can do a visceral attack, but with our stats and our weapon, it does more damage if you just follow up with another charged R2 immediately, because the enemy is also in a counter state, and they'll take double damage from the next attack you throw at them. So you get a meaty charged R2 off, and then you get a double meaty charged R2 off after that. That's the crux of the strategy we use against Orphan. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. You know, it's very possible with this game they'll get to Orphan's arena and Orphan just isn't there. You never know. Killing BSB opens up that door Dplanet just went through, and you use it to... You do what any normal person would do. You want to get somewhere, you just jump down a tower that's breaking apart, filled with ropes and dangerous scaffolding. I know that jump looks scary, but trust me, you won't die. It's very safe. Don't do it in real life, though. It's only safe in the game. This is the hunter's dream, but in the real world, because, like, lore and stuff. We don't really care about the lore. We're grabbing an umbilical cord. That's more lore, but we use that to fight a boss. You need to collect 3 of them, and there are 4 of them in the game. So we have some options on which ones we grab, but the 3 fastest include this one here, and there's also a freebie you get from another boss, and you pick another one up at the same time as the summons, so you don't have to go out of your way to do quest lines or anything like that. Once again, totally safe amount of fall damage. Don't do that in real life. It's not safe. Didn't see if Alma grabbed the, Okay, he did. It's a very smart idea to grab the old Yarnum lamp, but... You know, you just want to go fast. Maybe, to spite the wolf that, gave him one too many, pets at the beginning of the run. So, what you just saw there was maybe, a little hard to see. Happened in an instant. Blink and you miss it. Faster than lightning. If you try to climb a ladder and you cancel it with another animation, say, shooting your gun, toggling a weapon, transforming your weapon, something like that, it will interrupt the animation for getting on the ladder, but the game will still save your position on the ladder. And you'll see the result of that in a moment. So keep in mind that Dplanet is still at base stats and hasn't upgraded his weapon at all, and he is going to beat Amelia to a pulp no problem, even though she's a mid-game boss. This is taking advantage of the ridiculous power of the Beast Blood Pellet, and also limbs. The big beast bosses in this game have a really unique system when it comes to breaking limbs. You can break a limb, and then that limb, it will cause a stagger, and then you can keep on hitting it, and that limb will take additional damage. So with lots of bosses in this game, you can, if you have the right setup, you can just stun lock them to death, basically. You break one limb after another, and the boss can't fight back. And Vicar Amelia is one of those bosses. If you execute it correctly, the fight's going to go the exact same way every time. Yeah. To offer a little bit of a clarification on how exactly the Beast Blood Pellet works, it's supposed to be a high-risk, high-reward item. But in the speedrun, it's just high reward, no risk at all. Because they're just too good at the game for anything to be risky for them. But you see they eat the pellet, and then there's that bar on the top of their screen. The fuller that bar is, the more damage they deal, but also the more damage they take. I believe when the bar is full, they do 70% more physical damage, but their physical defense is reduced by 80%. So that's absolutely massive. Brainsucker there just wants a friend, but we don't care about him. He doesn't matter. Oh yeah, the ladder warp. It was so fast I didn't even notice it. Yeah, you saw he saved the position on the ladder earlier before the Amelia fight. And when you quit out, the game puts you back in your last stable position. And in this case, the game thinks you're on the ladder even though you're running around. That's because you canceled the animation, so you just quit out and the game will teleport you back to the ladder. And it saves, I don't know exactly how much times it saves, but it's got to be at least a little bit or they wouldn't do it, right? It's only used once in this run, but it's used a bunch of times in all trophies, so if you really like ladder warps, go watch an all trophies run. That's my advice. Dplanet is done running through that initial trek of the woods. He picked up some upgrade materials along the way, popped the pendant open that Amelia dropped to get a blood gem, picked up another blood gem. Blood gems are very important, you'll see. Another thing they picked up in the abandoned workshop is the doll set. That sells for 35,000 blood echoes, which is worth a number of levels in the early game. Spending his insight on the bloodstone shards there. You don't want to spend too much insight early on because we are hoarding our insight for one specific item. Oh, I'm sorry, I should have given you a warning. Basically, whenever a speedrunner is approaching the doll, you should just close your eyes. It's faster than talking to her. It's not our fault, the game's like this. Yeah, they just level up 25 strength, 19 skill. They do more damage and they go fast when they do more damage. So, if you were wondering why they level up the stats that give them more damage, that's why. Anyway, they now have a +4 weapon and 10% gem in their weapon and another gem that's, I believe, 13 or 14% against beasts. Oh no, Dplanet died. I can't believe it. How could this happen? Oh no. Have you guys heard this funny joke before? I can't believe he died. Are you sad? I'm sad. Yeah, if you let one of the body snatchers kill you, they appear after you kill BSB, and if you let one of them kill you, they'll teleport you to Hypogean Jail. This is just an alternate version of Yahar Ghul that you can access earlier. And it's faster to come here, to go a little bit out of our way, and come here and kill Dark Beast Parl early for a couple reasons. First of all, it lets us get some bolt paper, which speeds up a few of the boss fights that are coming up. And it means you don't have to do Yahar Ghul skip twice. And when you see Yahar Ghul skip a little bit later, you'll understand why you don't want to do it twice. Dark Beast Parl is another one of those scripted fights where you take advantage of limb breaking. And this is a flashy finish you're going to see. Never mind. I spoke too soon. Shouldn't have said anything. If you manage your stamina just right and you time your charged R2 there just right, you can hit his leg just as he's dashing away, and it's super flashy, and it's beautiful. That's a relatively new strategy, and by relatively new, I think it's like 2 years old now. But it's different from the one we did before, and that's why I'm pointing it out to you. It means something to me, okay? Oh, see. Elma got the bat attack. The Body Snatcher doesn't like to play nice. He doesn't like to kill you fast. He kills you on his own time. And he has this grab. That is the slowest grab in the game. He picks you up, looks at you for about 10 seconds, slams you on the ground a couple times, then looks at you again for another 10 seconds, and then drops you. And then you have a really slow death animation. So if he does the grab, it's better to just shoot him out of it. Alright, Dplanet's about to do the easiest skip in video game history. It saves a lot of time. I think somewhere in the realm of... Don't quote me on this, I don't have the spreadsheet open. But I think it saves in the realm of 25 seconds to 30 seconds. And, like I said, easiest skip in the world. You can do it super consistently with zero practice. It's great. Grabbing some more Beast Blood pellets. Very important. I was not exaggerating when I said Beast Blood pellets are the most important item in the run. A lot of the strategies for the bosses just would not work at all if you don't have a Beast Blood pellet. It's not like if you're missing a bolt paper or something. Paper just adds a flat amount of elemental damage to your weapon. It'll save some hits, but it doesn't ultimately matter that much. If you don't have a pellet for a boss, you're going to have a very bad time. But Alma got the textbook execution on the Parl strategy. Saw the flashy finish. Love to see it. He's going to buy some blood vials, some bolt paper. Yeah, not much to say about the run through the woods. It's not very pleasant. It's dark and there are a lot of snakes. The game does give you a lot of upgrade materials, though, which is nice. This isn't exactly the fastest pathing they could be taking through the area, but they gotta make some small detours here and there to pick up materials to upgrade their weapon. This here is the Shadows glitch. It's an AI freeze. If you run up there and you jump and you do the thing, then you can get out of bounds and you're over the Shadows arena. So what Dplanet's gonna do, he falls down, you saw the health bars appear, and he quits out. And the AI in Souls games for bosses is pretty quirky. For most bosses, their AI is tied to the fog gate. So if you somehow enter their arena without touching the fog gate, without interacting with it, then they won't have AI. This is true for Shadows, so he quits out the first time to make the fog gate appear, and now they're just standing here. I like to think that the Shadows are 100% aware of what's happening. And even though they don't look it, they're deeply afraid of the fate that's about to befall them. This was once one of the most difficult fights in the run. It was up there with Gascoigne. It was a ton of practice to get to the point where you just could kill them fast in runs. There wasn't much of a consistent strategy to them. A lot could go wrong. It was a very reactive fight. Very, very high skill ceiling, but now, thankfully, we can just freeze their AI, and it's wonderful. Fighting Shadows is fun and everything, but you know what's more fun? Doing the run after Shadows. A lot of people like doing that part of the run. Alright, that was a little unfortunate. Dplanet didn't get the super quick, super swaggy version of Lunarium Key Skip. Alright, there we go. Alma's doing just fine over here. Beautiful. Thankfully, From decided that this, you should be allowed to just run into this enemy without it aggroing and jump off the tail. And if you time your jump right, you can use its tail to gain a little bit more height. And then it'll dump you in the lake. Well, Hedgehog, the reason they shoot Rom is just to aggro her. It just allows them to aggro her from a distance without doing any damage or messing up the stagger. It's pretty important. But now we're on to Rom, which is everyone's favorite boss in the video game. If you're going for a super speedy, 104 time, then you would do YOLO Rom, which basically means you don't kill the spiders, you just attack Rom. And you hope. But unless you're Romanticore, you don't do that in a race. You just kill the spiders, you get some Beast Meter, and then hit Rom a few times, do the Charged R2 as she's teleporting. This looks like it's going to be a 1 cycle. Getting a 1 cycle isn't necessarily good all the time. It can be fast. It depends. See here, he actually lost time. Because what you want after Rom is to get the instant teleport, right? If you run to the right spot, as Rom dies, you won't have to run to Queen Yarnum to trigger the cutscene, it'll just happen. And if you get a 1 cycle without getting the instant teleport, that's slower than a good 2 cycle with the instant teleport. So, very often, killing Rom before she teleports will actually lose you time. At the end of the day, not the biggest deal. Also, yeah. I don't want to talk about that. I didn't like seeing that health bar go from being all the way red to all the way not red. At least he got the super cool LKS, though. Dplanet's going on a little bit of a detour here to pick up. That's extra bolt paper, just in case. But he's mainly coming over here to grab the Upper Cathedral Ward key. You need that key to get to the Upper Cathedral Ward. It has bosses in it. We gotta kill them. Except for Logarius. Everyone always forgets about Logarius. We don't really know where he is, so we just skip him. Also Cleric Beast. I don't even know where Cleric Beast is, so, I mean, if they kill Cleric Beast, I won't be able to tell you. See, Alma got the instant teleport there. So even though Rom did teleport, that was ultimately a faster segment for him. This is Yahar Ghul's skip. This game kind of has a trend where skips aren't necessarily difficult to execute, they're just annoying. That was super smooth. But I hope we don't have to learn by example here, but if it goes wrong for Alma, you'll see how it can go wrong. Let's just say Dplanet made it look easy, but there's a reason you don't want to do the skip twice. Grabbing some more upgrade materials, some bolt paper. Alma got the bolt paper too. These are some electrifying pickups. Oh, I should point out the Madman's knowledge. You've noticed the runners are picking up Madman's knowledge here and there as they go through the game. That's just so they can have enough insight to buy all the stuff they want. Insight does a few things. It does slightly change some enemy behavior, reduces your frenzy resistance, and stuff like that. But the main thing we worry about is its use as a currency. We're going to use it to buy a Blood Rock to max out our weapon. And you need 60 insight for it, so you really got to hoard it as much as you can. Alright, 1 reborn usually is not a problem. But again, you never know with this game. Basic strategy, get between the legs. Knock them down. And just keep smacking them. It might look like it's just R1, L1 spam, but there is a bit of finesse. See, Alma used the gesture there. That's why you move the gestures around, just in case you need to do that. It might look like just R1, L1 spam, but there's quite a bit of finesse to it. You gotta move around to dodge fireballs, make sure the corpse rain doesn't hit you. It looks brain dead. It's not quite brain dead. A lot can go wrong if you don't make the right little movements. Yeah, Alma must have quit out there for safety. I don't blame him. It's scary. Don't ask me how we got to school here. I don't know why there's a school floating in the void. There just is. We're not going to question it. We're just going to move on to the Nightmare of Mensis, which is actually the final required area of the game. But we have a lot of cleanup to do after this. So, the run's just getting started. Alright, this is another very small difference. Oh, I forgot to point this out, but Alma is picking up this blood gem here. It's 18% more damage, which is a lot. You can quote me on that. 18% is a lot. Dplanet used the cocktail he didn't use on BSB to bait that the scary man beast over there, and keep him from absolutely murdering him while he killed the crystal lizard. But Alma threw his away earlier, so he's just gonna quit out. Slower RTA, but this isn't an RTA race. Alma's having just a great time here, isn't he? Look at that. He's not applying the finesse. I told him about the finesse, but he just wasn't listening. I'm just kidding. He's doing a great job. I don't want him to come to my house and smack me. Alright, Dplanet is now upgrading his weapon even further. It's going to be up to +8 out of +10, so that's pretty cool. And he's going to swap one of his gems out for the 15% gem. That beast gem, by the way, is only useful for Parl. Against every other boss we've fought up to this point, it does nothing. So, it's just dead weight. You only equip it for the one boss. Get some more levels, and back to the Nightmare of Mensis we go. The next boss they're fighting is everybody's favorite boss in the entire game. He has a great sense of fashion, and he's not annoying. He's not. Don't mind me, just pouring some coffee. I'm here for the long haul. I need to keep myself energized. You can only keep up this high-octane, incredibly energetic commentary for so long if you don't have coffee. Yeah, the Silver Beast doesn't normally do that. That's not usual behavior. I guess he just wanted to say hi to everybody watching the Speed Soul stream, you know? He figured this was his time to shine. Quitting out does lose some in-game time, by the way, so it's not just a get-out-of-jail-free card. Well, it is, actually. I was lying. It's totally a get-out-of-jail-free card. But you do lose a few seconds of in-game time if you just quit out. So you don't want to quit out, if you can help it. But there wasn't exactly much you can do. Alright, watch. This is important. This guy's gonna jump. He's gonna do it. Oh, he didn't jump. Normally he jumps. If you manage your stamina the same way every time. Well, now I'm bummed out. He didn't jump. Dplanet's grabbing some extra Beast Blood pellets there. You don't need to grab those, assuming you haven't died or lost any pellets up to this point, but it's better to grab them just in case. There's still a whole lot of stuff that can go wrong. There's the funny lady. Look at the funny lady. Everybody think about the funny lady while I think of something to say. I need to make myself look good. Oh, wait. Our entertainment's right here. Okay. I lied. It's delayed a little bit. Okay. Our entertainment's right here. Dplanet grabbed the shortcut for Mikolash because most people don't think of him like a hard boss, but he can be difficult in more ways than one. Grabbing some bullets there, because why not? Alright, that's a Swedish Mikolash right there. He can run in a few different directions, but running straight to the right is the fastest way. If you shoot him 3 times before he walks into the room, his AI just decides he doesn't feel like going where he's supposed to go anymore, and he just comes out to fight you. He's not having a good time whatsoever with the puppets there. But it could be worse. Remember, no matter how badly the run's going, it could be worse. Alright. Mikolash is kind of stupid. He thinks if he pretends to die when he still has half his health bar left, somebody will actually fall for that. But we know what's up. Going on a little detour there to scary chain attack, by the way, to grab some bloodstone chunks, and this is another point where his paths can diverge. He can either go straight to the left, and that's a Swedish Mikolash, or he can go forward and waste your time for no reason. It's really exciting. See? Wasting time for no reason. He does what he wants to. He doesn't care. Alright, if you hate Mikolash, this should be very satisfying to watch. Right now, we're just shoving Mikolash into a locker and taking his lunch money. Normally, this is the burger Mikolash right here. That Alma's getting. The synchronized Mikolashes are too much. I can't talk about both of them at the same time. Should have told... What is happening? What the heck? Okay, it worked out, I guess. Yeah, that's not what's supposed to happen. That wasn't a burger Mikolash, that was something else. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I think that's just because he stopped to fight the puppet on the way. Oh, this is Mission Impossible time. This is a pretty large detour, but it's for an 18% blood gem. When they go to the dream after this and they upgrade and they put their gems in, they're going to have 2 18% gems and a 15% gem. And because they stack multiplicatively and not additively, that's like a 60% increase in damage, if I remember correctly, so it is a lot. It is well worth going out of your way to grab that. It just makes your damage so much higher. I didn't even explain the insane Mikolash tech here. And also, Dplanet got frenzied through the loading screen. I can't explain everything at once! But the reason they go for that plunge attack, other than that it just looks cool and does damage, is normally he runs into that room, the door slams shut, and then you have to run all the way around and drop onto him from above, and then after the boss dies, you have to wait for the door to open. It wastes so much time. But if you just roll off at the right angle and do a plunging attack, you're all good. Alright, you may not see it if you're not a master of this game like I am. But I know everything, and I know what Dplanet's doing. He is taking some particular pathing through this little hallway here to try to get the shadows and the pigs to fight. It gets you some extra echoes. It's not a huge deal if it doesn't go perfectly, but it lets you get, I think, another 2 or so levels in strength. I could be wrong on the exact numbers. The point is, it gets you more strength, okay? You don't have to grill me on every little detail. I know what's going on, okay? Alright, this is Wet Nurse. Not much to this boss. She's mostly just, oh boy. Oh boy, howdy. This sure is a rootin' tootin' good time for Almaperian here. Look at that. Yeah, that can happen sometimes. They can take a few different paths depending on the alignment of the planets, what lunar phase we're in, what day it is, what they had for breakfast, and oh no. I can't even explain Wet Nurse. I'm too busy marveling at the insanity on display. Yeah, but this basically happened because he ran past the blood gem for a second before he went back to pick it up. And now bad things are happening. Yeah. Oh no. If he dies there, he's probably not going to go back and get the echoes because it's just not worth it. You don't need to get all the levels that they normally get. Normally, you would end the game, if all goes well, you end up with 44 strength and 25 skill. You don't need all those levels, though. You can... Pretty much all the strats will work just fine with 25. It's just that it's more difficult. The bosses take, more hits to kill. I guess I'll explain Wet Nurse when Alma fights him. I was too busy cackling like a hyena at his misery. Yeah, he grabbed the gem cookie. He grabbed the gem. Oh, maybe, I think it's just time to... Maybe he should just cut his losses. Oh, I feel so bad. It's okay. Dplanet's gonna fail lecture hall skip about 50 times, and that'll even out. This skip is very precise. You need to jump. I can't believe he made it. The madman. How has he done it? This is insane. Anyway, it's, lecture hall skip. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Lecture hall skip is a frame-perfect, pixel-perfect jump. Not even pixel-perfect, sub-pixel-perfect. And it's so precise that it can feel random, but, you can take comfort in knowing that every time a runner fails lecture hall skip, it's their fault. If it takes you less than 4 tries, you save time over going the normal way. Any more than 4 tries, then you should have just gone the normal way, and you should feel bad about yourself. Another skip. This is just such an action-packed run. He's sitting down, and then he quits out. How does that even... What is this insane skill on display? That's just a shortcut elevator. You're supposed to go through the entire area, and then get that elevator at the end as a shortcut. But we don't play by Miyazaki's little rules. There's just a weird little piece of collision that's jutting out. Normally, if you quit out in midair, you just get put back on the ground where you fell. But if you stand at the edge and sit down, we trick the game into being confused, and we spawn in midair, and we avoid the otherwise lethal fall damage. Now that they have a mostly upgraded weapon and all their gems in place, you're gonna see just how crazy the beast blood pellets and everything can get. Charge in R2. He missed the damage on that, but that's not a huge deal. He just has to use an older strategy that's a little bit slower. If he waited about 2 frames longer, he would have been able to get damage on that charged R2. But it's okay. Not much to say about Wet Nurse. Now I can explain the fight. She's mostly just tanky. Her attacks are locked in once they begin. That attack is strafable, but he didn't. Calling him out. Anyway, basically if you just stand behind her once she starts an attack, they can't hit you. Otherwise, it's about counting staggers. She staggers every 10th hit. She'll dash away. You want to hit her with an L1 when she dashes away, and the fight's moving so fast I can't explain things as they happen. But you saw there she was initiating the nightmare phase, where she spawns clones of herself, and they attack you, and the arena goes purple and scary for a while. I think it lasts... I don't know how long it lasts. I'm not going to make up a number. It feels like it lasts about 10 years. But you can either stagger her out of it, or you can dodge it, which is what Alma did. If you just dodge twice whenever you see the purple coming in, then you'll iframe it, because it's technically an AoE attack, and if you iframe it, then the effect won't happen. Pretty cool. Kind of interesting that Dplanet isn't doing cave skip. He's just running there the normal way. I don't blame him though. Cave skip is the worst skip in the game. Anyone who tries to tell me otherwise, we can fight in the parking lot after school. But cave skip is kind of a misnomer anyway. You don't skip the cave, you skip to the cave. If you do cave skip, you'll just end up here-ish. Alright, let's see how lecture hall skip goes for Alma. Oh, that was so close. A pixel too low. A mere pixel. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, he got it. Here we're seeing some of that classic From Software world design. Don't ask how it all stacks up, and if this actually makes sense, but you climb these ladders, you end up back at, Yosefka's clinic where you started the game. And, there are a couple of important items in the clinic. You pick up the Canehurst summons, which you need to get to Canehurst, where, I think there's a boss in Canehurst. Well, actually, I don't really know why you get the Canehurst summons. I don't think Canehurst is like an area in the game. I don't know what it's for. You just pick it up, I guess. The thing you pick up that actually matters, though, is the third umbilical cord. That's the third and final one you collect in the run. And in case you didn't notice, you get a freebie from killing Wetners. And you just have to consume 3 before you fight Gehrman. And you get to fight the super secret anime final boss. So, there are the summons, whatever that's for. And if you approach Imposter Yosefka after the Blood Moon falls, then she's trying to use the umbilical cord to, like, turn into a tentacle monster. I don't know why she wants to do that, but she's a little nuts, so you just put her out of her misery and take the umbilical cord for yourself. It'll be fine. Alright, let's see if Alma lands the textbook. There we go. See, normally you would... I think he whiffed the first R1 there. Oh well. But yeah, that's how the start of the fight is supposed to go. You, if you wait just long enough, you'll be able to get damage on the charged R2. Yeah, that part of the run is a little bit... It makes me want to sleep, you know? There's not much happening. It's just, you run through the woods, kill an innocent little lady, and take the umbilical cord from her. Even though she earned it, it's hers. You just steal it, and you leave. And you take this, like, worthless piece of paper, don't know what it's for. See, that's the biggest flex you can do in this game. If you don't die for the, in the period between you fighting Parl and you coming back here, you can pick up the Blood Echoes. And it's just a way of letting Miyazaki know that you won. It just makes you feel good. They're not useful for anything. You don't need them at all. But it just feels nice, and that's all that matters. Yeah, there are 2 bosses up this way. And you gotta kill them both. Who would have thought? It's all bosses. So Alma is doing cave skip. You can run along these gravestones, jump at just the right time, and you will end up here. But you're not supposed to be here. This is out of bounds. And you fall down here, and you're in the cave. Once again, it's called cave skip, but it's you don't skip the cave. I don't know who named that skip, but whoever it was should have their speed license revoked, because it's a stupid name. That bridge is a little scary. He had the quit out menu pulled out because, I mean, anything could have happened on that bridge. Alright, I think this is like the only normal enemy in the entire run you kill. Yeah, he can do a couple different things. Most of the time he likes to just point at you. Then you just whack him a few times, put him out of his misery. He's going senile. This is where we're going to get to see the two different runners do two different setups. Yep, epic. Really cool. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing, video game. Love it. Perfect. Yeah, anyway, you can attack through that door, and you can use either the transformed saw cleaver or the threaded cane. The threaded cane is a little bit easier to use, but it's a little slower because you got to take the time to grab it. And you just kill that brain sucker through the wall and get the orphanage key, which lets you run. It lets you skip basically the entire area. Having some fun times in Brainsucker Village. That Cosmic Eye Watcher badge lets you buy Beast Blood pellets, so that's important to pick up. You know, they're addicted. They gotta get their fix. I'm not sure if Holy Blade works, but the backup that people used to do if they couldn't grab the threaded cane was they would just use the Kirk Hammer. You can just buy it after Cleric Beast. But that also meant you would have to do Cleric Beast first, which is a little bit slow. Celestial Emissary looks like a joke boss. They can actually be a little bit scary. If they, if you do YOLO Emissary, basically. If you do what Dplanet did, and you just carefully, you know, you kill them one at a time and then wail on the guy, it's easy. But if you just go straight for the main man hiding in the back, then you can get smacked and destroyed pretty quickly if you're not careful. But yeah, immediately after there's another boss. If you're playing casually, this is one of the harder bosses in the game. But you're going to see Abritus get absolutely embarrassed here. With a pretty unique strategy to boot. So while when a boss's health bar isn't on screen, they don't take damage, but you can still build up their stagger. So what he does is he hits her a few times to get her to the point where she'll stagger on the very next hit after her health bar appears. Hit her a few more times, don't go for the visceral because it's slow. Hit her a bunch more times, do a charge R2, hit her a couple more times after that, and she's dead. And that's how you do it. I mean, I think every strategy in this game for killing bosses can be boiled down to, you hit it until it dies. It's just that with some bosses, it's more calculated hits than others. Dplanet's gonna take a step into the DLC, but he's not actually gonna do anything there yet. He just wants to grab the lamp. Something worth noting here is that, oh no, he's going to kill Cleric Beast. What's wrong with me? I'm rusty. I'm going insane. I don't know the run anymore. What's wrong with me? Anyway, he's going to go kill, wait, I don't know what Cleric Beast is, I forgot. He's back in Central Yharnam for some reason, I don't know. I'm gonna go do something. I guess he just wants to give Alma a chance to catch up. Gonna take a little bit of a stroll. Yeah, as you saw, that's the saw cleaver setup. It's a little bit more difficult, from my understanding, but it is faster if you can execute. And execute he did. Very smooth. You're right, Stochastic. I didn't think about that. That's pretty lazy. Like, they just, like, took Lawrence and just, like, plopped him on this bridge. I don't even know what he's here for. Yeah, there's a boss here. I think it's Cleric Beast. I think this is where Cleric Beast shows up. Like, I've heard the name Cleric Beast. I don't really know what it is. I guess he's dead now. I wonder if Alma's gonna go for YOLO Emissary. Let's see. Is he gonna do it? He's not gonna do it. Little does he know he's playing suboptimally, because Bolt Paper only saves a hit on this boss if you do YOLO Emissary. So this man's a fraud. He doesn't even know what he's doing. All right, and with Cleric Beast dead, it's DLC time. The DLC has the hardest bosses in the game casually. I think most people would agree on that, but for the speedrun, we have very good strats for them. It's going to be very satisfying seeing Ludwig and Lawrence get obliterated specifically. I don't know what this dude's issue is, but he takes you to the DLC, so I guess he's a pretty cool guy. And apparently everything I knew about this run was wrong, so I didn't see if Dplanet upgraded his thing. I guess he didn't. I don't know why. I don't know, maybe I'm just senile. I'll stop reflecting on it. It doesn't matter. Abritus is dead. Again. Textbook. That's more how it's supposed to go. Dplanet missed a little bit of damage on one of the hits on Abritus, so he didn't finish her off with the charged R2, calling him out on it. But yeah, that's, we just spent all the insight we've been hoarding and got ourselves a Blood Rock and a +10 weapon. Oh, Dplanet's calling himself out. I didn't know if you did it on purpose or not. I was terrified. I thought I forgot the route. Don't do that. Yeah, this is the DLC. You run through the enemies and kill the bosses. But it's different because you need to buy this separately from the rest of it. So you pay more money so you can kill more bosses and make the speedrun longer. Isn't that weird? Alright, there's a scary boss coming up here for Dplanet, so I'm just gonna let some tension build. Just making sure you all know how scared you should be. The boss is gonna trigger after he runs out. Alright, well, it looks like the boss glitched or something. I don't know. Maybe go back and fight him later, I guess. That's not how it's supposed to go at all. Oh, here's something interesting to say. You have to run through these guns in a particular way, otherwise they shoot you, and you get hurt. So he ran through the guns in the particular way, and he didn't get shot and get hurt. So, big props to Dplanet. He's doing a great job. He did exactly what he's supposed to do. Sometimes you can squeeze through there and get through the door without quitting out. Sometimes you can't. Very tragically, I think this just cost him the 103. He had to quit out. So, unfortunately, we're going to have to settle for a 104 from D. Once again, you don't need those bullets. Actually, no, you do need those bullets. I'm just going crazy. I swear I know this run. I'm not just making stuff up as I go along to sound cool and impress everyone. I am impressing you, right? With my knowledge? Different runners have different preferences on where they use blue elixirs. You can be pretty flexible with it. But this is one of 2 spots in the game where you pretty much need one. Why are you doing that? Okay. If you don't have a blue elixir for the Blood River, then bad things normally happen to you. Yeah. Yeah, there's another part in Henwick where you need one. Otherwise, runners may choose to use one or not to use one during other parts. For example, some runners don't use them for the pigs in Mensis. But it's a little bit safer to grab the extra elixirs and use them there. Here's the first DLC boss, Ludwig, everyone's favorite boss in the video game. This fight takes a little while. So go make yourself a snack. And come back, and maybe the fight will be like half over. Because, like, the boss has a lot of health, and, like, he does a lot of damage with his attacks, and he attacks you constantly. It's a non-stop assault, super tanky, and, like, see, like, this attack in particular is really scary. See how much damage that does? Oh, he actually missed hits. That's unfortunate. Yeah, really hard fight. I can only come up with so many entertaining ways to say a boss is hard when it's not, okay? I tried. Yeah, Ludwig is another one of those scripted bosses. Fun fact, the fire paper that you use there doesn't actually save any hits. It just gets you a slightly faster death animation. So speed. Very speedy. If you're going for a really good time, you would do a one lamp DLC, which is just where you grab this lamp, and then you don't grab any other lamps until you kill Orphan. Then you go back and grab Lawrence's skull. But for a race, maybe not a good idea, unless you're a literal god. Which, I mean, both of these gentlemen are, but let's just... You know, it's better to be safe. Even though they're obviously not going to die, they're obviously the best at the game, they don't make mistakes, nothing bad ever happens, it's better to be safe. Even though they don't need to be. That's the way I like to think about it. Once again, you see the very generous fall damage in this game. Not quite Demon Souls level, but you can jump a few stories down and be just fine. You need to grab that real quick because it triggers the Lawrence fight later on. And Lawrence, by the way, in case you don't know, that is the boss that the Cleric Beast is based on. I think they added the Cleric Beast in a patch or something. Like, the DLC came out and everyone loved Lawrence so much that they just removed the fire and put a weaker version of him in the base game. And it doesn't really make sense. I don't know. Whatever they want to do with their game, I guess. You guys like looking at logos? I do. Alright, I'll break down the Ludwig strategy a little closer this time. I'll actually explain what's going on instead of memeing. So he should always open with that attack unless you're Canadian. So you pop the pellet, R1, L1, 3 R1s on the face, we'll get him to stagger again, pop the bolt paper, do true transform attacks. Don't go for the R2. I think he messed up his stamina management a little bit, and that's why he didn't go for the R2. But either way, it's not a big deal, because once he's in phase 2, it takes a couple hits to stagger him either way. And then you can go for the visceral attack, or don't, and then he dies. Alright, Dplanet, I'm not sure if he's going to go for the new and improved Research Hall skip. He may or may not. Let's see. My heart's pounding. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm sweating. Looks like he's just going the normal way. You know, the way you're intended to go. This is what From wants you to do. By the way, the quit out there is absolutely necessary. If you don't quit out, you will be absolutely destroyed by the scariest enemies in the game. This is perfect. This Living Failure dabbed on Dplanet. That's what you wanted to do. You parry the dab, go for the counter hit with your transform attack, and then you start spawn camping. It's just like Call of Duty. If you like Call of Duty, this boss is for you, because you just stand in one spot and you kill the same one over and over. It's a great time. There is a little bit of variance in this fight with what the failures do. That failure will sometimes just start like, using magic on you immediately. Sometimes she'll spawn slightly earlier or slightly later. That time he decided to do the hokey pokey instead of attacking him, which is really nice. The Alma used the blue elixir here because that enemy is terrifying. He will kill you in one hit. He will squash you with his IV stand. It's not pleasant. Well, thankfully, the failures were too concerned with showing off their dance moves, so they didn't kill Dplanet. He lives to see another day. This is a little bit of a very interesting trick. You only get to use it once in the run, but it's really, really cool. You'll see that he still has the beast meter on screen after he quits out, but he can still use another beast blood pellet. So right now he kind of has a fake beast meter that's like full, but it's not real. But if he pops another pellet after he triggers the fight, he gets to keep his build meter going into the fight. There's the dab, beautiful. And it makes Maria quite a lot easier. You can just absolutely bully her with the full pellet at the start. Phase 1, most of the time, you can just step right and be fine. She only has a couple of attacks that can hit you if you do it that way. You can do some backstabs if you're feeling spicy, but ideally, once you get her to transition to Phase 2, which happens at about 60% health, you wail on her enough that you can just get her straight down to her Phase 3 transition as soon as the Phase 2 transition is over, and then you can kill her from there. But if you make a mistake on Maria, very bad things happen to you. We'll say that much. This is yet another case where the runners make Maria look really easy, but you definitely can die to Maria. I agree, Maria is very smelly. I mean, she lights her blood on fire. That can't smell good. Hilarious jokes aside, this is the fishing hamlet. There are fish people. Those are blood vials. He's picking them up. Let's see how Alma's Maria fight goes. Dodge that. And you'll see that if you just do R1, L1s, that will interrupt most of her attacks. That overhand swing where she uses both her swords at once is the only one that you can't interrupt with a single L1. You need to fit in... Oh, he stepped in a little too early. That's very sad. I'm sorry, Alma. Yeah, the AoE lingers for just a little bit after the explosion, and oh, hi, doggy. Oh, hi, doggy. I don't have anything else to talk about. Might as well practice my Tommy Wiseau impression. Here's something to talk about. It's a skip. Oh, he did a jump. That's scary. This is a common trick you actually see in, similar tricks are used in Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 3, because it's the same engine, right? When you jump off when you're falling, and you hit a slope, you do this sliding animation. And for some reason, the game's highest priority is getting you out of that sliding animation before anything else, including killing you. So what you can do is you can fall down into this area that's out of bounds that would normally deal lethal fall damage. But if you land on the slope and you quit out just as you hit the ground, you can avoid it. And it's pretty sweet. Lets you skip most of the hamlet. It's a really, really cool little skip. Alright, this is where the charged R2s that follow up the backstab that I talked about earlier really get important. As you see, 3,000 damage from that one thing. This is how you fight Orphan. You can strafe. Yes, you can strafe most of his attacks in Phase 1 and punish them with a backstab. Dplanet there healing wasn't just panic. I'm sure it was kind of panic. But if you stand a distance away from Orphan and you try to use an item or you heal, he will often do that jumping attack. and you can use that to loop his AI pretty effectively. It's not 100% reliable, but he will do the right thing most of the time. I'm glad Alma's second Maria fight went really well. That's some redemption. And assuming that Orphan doesn't do instant lightning as soon as he hits phase 2, it's easy enough to stun lock him. You just R2L1, wait for stamina, R2L1, and you repeat till he's dead. Pretty nice fight. Now all that's left for Dplanet in the DLC is Lawrence. You know, the original Cleric Beast. Cleric Beast ripped Lawrence off. It's very sad. You see that Dplanet's dumping insight here. That's not just so he has more stuff, even though having more stuff is great and all. When you have more insight, your beasthood stat goes down. And that means that your beast meter is smaller, and if you can't fill it up as much, then you can't get as much benefit out of the beast. So, dumping insight has more than one purpose. Different armor sets also have different beasthood stats on them, so I believe if you get the hunter set at the beginning of the run, like Dplanet did, then you have higher damage potential. I don't think it actually translates to any practical hits saved on any bosses, but it's cool to know. I feel like we've been here before. Is this the very scary boss that didn't aggro before because of the glitch? Man, running jokes are so hard. I should just forget about jokes I make earlier. I'm supposed to talk about the speedrun. This is a speedrun. You know how you can tell it's a speedrun? Because we're going to kill Lawrence before he even hits phase 3. That's how speedy it is. Lawrence, once again, is a very scripted boss if you do it right. You can use this combo, and if you stand in the right spot, he missed the arm there, so he kind of messed it up. I don't even have time to explain it. He's too fast for me. But the gist of it is you break his arm near the beginning of the fight, and you then do these full combos hitting his knees. And if you stand in the right spot and you do the right attacks, he should always do the back step and then the big fire AoE slam. And you can just loop that repeatedly between breaking limbs. And if you do it right, like Dplanet did, you can entirely skip phase 3. So you don't have to deal with him making a lava mess all over the place. Very smooth fight with Orphan there for Alma. I'm proud of you, Alma. You're doing such a good job. I love you. I would kiss you if I could. So now that Dplanet is done with the DLC, he has a couple more bosses in the base game to go clean up. There just isn't, like, it's slipped in at the end of the run, because there really isn't any time you can go and do it other than now. So this is just slotted in before Gehrman and Moon Presence. You just go and kill witches. It's, that's it. You don't kill any bosses after witches, you just go kill the final boss. At least there aren't any bosses there that I know of. Whenever I do commentary for Bloodborne runs, this is always the part I look forward to the least, because what am I supposed to say about this? Like, the game gives me nothing. I can talk about how the dogs are annoying. I already did that. Oh, you know what I can talk about? Stamina. In Bloodborne, stamina management is different from the other Souls games, because the Bloodborne sprint has startup frames. And you can skip those startup frames if you just hold the circle button down the entire time you're running, or if you keep holding the circle button through an action like opening this door, even though he's definitely gonna roll because scary dogs. Yep. Oh, yep. Beautiful. Yeah. Clean. Anyway, most of the time you just want to hold the circle button down, so that way you skip the startup frames and you save time that way. Though, standard stamina management rules apply, in that if you're about to pick up an item, you want to be at low stamina so you don't overcap on stamina. Same thing if you're interacting with a lever or a door or whatever. It's just that Bloodborne streamlines it a little bit because you can hold circle for the most part. In all the other games, you need to do it manually. You need to bounce the... Awesome. Thank you, Yarnum Huntsman guy. Beautiful. You want to bounce it back and forth between almost empty and almost full manually, but this game is just so nice that it does it for you. Gotta love it. Alright, I'm gonna explain how the Lawrence strat actually works this time. That's really awesome. Bro. Epic. How could... Oh, I guess... Oh. I'm sorry. Oh, man. I feel bad for laughing, but... You know, you can't help it. Alright, that's okay, though, because Dplanet is about to kill the last boss before the final boss. I promise, there's no boss. There's no boss between Garemoon and witches. Not a single one. So unless you're from Brazil, you probably won't die to this boss. You just pop a pellet just as the witch behind you spawns in, and it takes 4 hits to... No, it takes 5 hits to kill that one. No, it takes 5 hits to kill both of them. I don't know anything. This quit out, very important. If you stand on that barrel, you're not technically on stable ground, and the boss arena isn't flagged as stable ground yet, so if you quit out just as you get the echoes, it will put you outside. And, it'll put you outside, and it saves a little bit of in-game time. But what's more important than the time save, actually, is that it resets the enemies. If you don't... Even if you're not in the position to, to get the teleport out of the boss room, you want to quit out anyway, because if the enemy positions aren't reset, they can cause all kinds of problems. They'll be all over the place. Anyway, Lawrence strat, you do R1, L1, regen some stamina, do 3 R1s, then 2 L1s. He does these steps back, and then you want to aim for the leg so you don't actually break the arm or the head. You keep doing that combo of transform attacks. 1 hit on the leg, go for the arm again, more transform attacks. Do some more attacks, then go for the arm, break the head. This will get you a super long stagger. You be careful not to get the visceral attack because it's slow. And then the boss is dead. Did you get all that? There'll be a quiz at the end. I hope you wrote that down. Yeah, Dplanet took a little bit of a look at that blood flicker. Sometimes he can do concerning things. I'm not gonna lie, I'm totally lost here. I have no idea where Dplanet is or what he's doing. I've never even seen this area before. I don't know what's up with this. It's snowy, and there's statues, so that's cool, I guess. I don't have the authority to talk on this part. I've never seen it, so we're just gonna talk about what Alma's doing. Wait, Alma's doing the part of the run where nothing happens. Maybe this has to do with the Canehurst summons that Dplanet picked up earlier. That looks like a shortcut, I guess. Could be useful. I mean, if there was a boss here, you would want the shortcut just in case you died, right? You know, that's what I would do. Alright, I'm gonna drop the axe. I do actually know Logarius exists, and I know he's in Canehurst. I'm sorry for lying, but I had to do it, because I thought it would be funny. I don't know if it's worth it. I don't think it'll ever be worth it. Anyway, you jump off the stairs there, and you land on the bookcase. Normally, you're supposed to go out a window and, like, run around and do stuff. But that's slow. But thankfully there's a conveniently placed bookcase there. So you can run up the stairs and jump on the bookcase, roll to the other side, and open the shortcut / thing to progress the ladder. You unlock the ladder to go up the ladder, and then you fight the boss. You know, this is how I get around my house in real life. This game's very realistic. Look at the ladder. Isn't that fascinating? You like looking at the ladder? Alright, Logarius is another one of those bosses that, can look deceptively easy if you're seeing an experienced runner fight it. Because you do kill him fast, and in theory it's not difficult to avoid his attacks, but the thing is you make one slip up and you're going to die, or it will snowball. But in Phase 1, he's, he does the battle mage thing. He mostly casts spells and backs away from you. So, did he not pop a pellet? Oh no. Oh no. Well, this'll be fine. So, he just has to fight Phase 2 now. Yeah. Oh, you're supposed to skip Phase 2. Oh, I didn't even notice he didn't pop it. Yep. So, when I say this is how Logarius can go wrong, you just forget to pop the pellet, and then this happens. I don't know if he forgot. I don't know what happened. Maybe he did the butt scratch. When in doubt, you can just blame the game. Yeah. Better luck next time. I think Logarius sensed that another PS4 crashed halfway across Europe, so he decided to lend a hand to Alma, you know? Logarius is just misunderstood. He's really a nice guy. Yeah, at least Dplanet got the shortcut. So it won't take too long. The unfortunate thing about dying to this boss, other than just feeling bad about yourself, is that it has one of the longest boss runs in the game. Most other bosses either have a shortcut that's much closer to them, or they just put a lamp right next to it. Not the case with this boss. You gotta run quite a ways. That's right, Wider. Yeah, unfortunately, Dplanet might as well forfeit, because this run is not going to get past the speed board. The speed board of directors, because you're not allowed to take the shortcut. That's too peachy. If your run's too peachy, then you can't. It's not valid. Also, game crashes aren't valid, so Alma can't. He's disqualified too. You know, since both runs are disqualified, I guess it evens out. We'll let him keep going. We'll just treat the race like normal. Yes, what Stochastic says is true. The fight will go differently if you have to actually enter through the fog gate. The boss's behavior will be different, and you'll have to approach it differently. So, most runners don't exactly go out of their way to practice bosses coming through the fog gate, so this could end up being very interesting. Once he gets close to the boss, though, he should be able to just start doing the normal cycle. Also going to take a moment to point out that we don't really know for sure how far ahead one or the other is. Because Alma is on a PS5, so he has an RTA advantage. Loading screens are shorter and whatnot. So he may look further ahead than he actually is. Could be the opposite case, that Dplanet doesn't have as much of an advantage as maybe you'd think. We won't know until the run's over, basically. You know, you'd think the run would be more standardized with the hardware because it's a console, but nope. It's a big deal. Yeah, also, that's how the fight is supposed to go. You just you do these R1L1s till he's at about half health, do some more hits, and then you do the charged R2 thingamabob while he's transforming, and he's dead. But yeah, you'd think it'd be more fair because of you can't see it right now, I'm doing air quotes, standardized hardware across the consoles, but no. This is possibly the most hardware-dependent speed game in the in the Souls series because of like how big the differences are between SSD and no SSD and etc. Gehrman and Moon Presence, you kind of have to treat it as a single fight because how good your Moon Presence is really depends on how good your Gehrman is. And so far, he's doing a fine job on Gehrman. The basic strategy for Gehrman is you parry, then you dash in, do a counter hit L1, few hits after that. When he transitions to phase 2, if you time it right, you can get a backstab, and the fight's over pretty quickly. And you can continue wailing on his corpse. First of all, just to disrespect the old man, and second of all, to continue building Beast Meter. Toggle the weapon so you can rebuff it, and then Moon Presence does the funny run opener. Oh boy. Oh, yep, there are two things happening simultaneously, and I cannot express the despair I feel towards both of them at the same time. Yep. That's, like I said, this game's unpredictable. You never know what'll happen. You just don't. There's no way of knowing. Thankfully, that attack is really easy to parry. Alma can take some advantage of that. I don't know how to fight Logarius, so I'm not explaining what's happening. I don't know how this fight works. He's just doing stuff. Hopefully it works out. Their Dplanet just sold some of the chalice materials you get from bosses because they aren't important. Bought some more vials. Yep, and that's Logarius. Doing Moon Presence from a fresh pellet and from the Fog Gate is an entirely different ballgame than just doing him after Gehrman. And this is, again, something that most people don't go out of their way to practice, so this is a real test of improvisation. Yeah. The basic strategy for Moon Presence is that you want to break the arm and then the head, and then you want to keep wailing on the head, do a visceral attack if you're feeling fancy. If you do the fight, if you have a textbook Moon Presence fight is very smooth. It's pretty much scripted if you respond to the opener correctly, but the thing is the cycle changes depending on what opener you get, and it's a real mess. It also depends on how good your Gehrman fight was. It can be changed depending on how full your Beast Meter is. If you're starting from a fresh pellet, that really sucks. See, this is the best opener you can get. And see, Dplanet was going for the arm, and he didn't hit it as many times as you maybe think he did, because the arm hitbox is about 3 pixels long and 2 pixels wide, so it can be pretty difficult to hit him. But thankfully, that's more how the Moon Presence is supposed to go. And he's just got to make sure he doesn't quit out too early. The boss isn't technically dead until you get the echoes, and let's see the in-game time. Very spicy run for both runners here. I'm waiting. 1:15. You know, it is what it is. You can't. It's what can you do? You know, at least his game didn't crash. Yeah, poor Dplanet lost a lot of his time just near the end. My phone's vibrating. Make it stop. Make it stop. I'm getting distracted. Okay. So this next Logarius fight's going to go perfectly. And then Alma's going to have the most immaculate Gehrman fight you've ever seen. You know, what they tell you about running on PS5 is you have faster loading screens. But what they don't tell you on PS5 is that there's a 50% chance of the game crashing every time you fight Lauren. So it's a very high risk, very high reward play to use the superior console. All right, as long as Alma can get close to that. See, it can go wrong. Yep, that's how it goes. Oh, he's getting bullied. Yep, I can't read French, but I'm pretty sure he just uninstalled the game. I don't have to read it to understand it. You can't you can't blame him. I would do the same thing. Yeah, great job to both runners. You gotta understand that both these guys are just great at this game. And things don't go according to plan. You make a minor slip up and then it just starts to snowball. The game crashes. Logarius is kind of a jerk. There are just so many things that can go wrong that are difficult to respond to, and both of them handled it super well. Yeah, just props to both of them, because it's not an easy run.
Yo,
Hello.
Hello. Did you have
GG.
fun?
A lot of fun. Yeah, that was amazing.
The race started so well, like for both of us. Like besides, I think the Winterland of Alma, I think we had a pretty good start, but then at the end it all just broke down.
Yeah, you didn't see my my run,
Yeah,
DP.
I did see you on. You died twice to the guys. I was so
No, I mean
sad.
I died to the wolf right at the start. I got
Oh yeah,
French
true,
luck on
true.
Miko. Instant
Uh,
teleports
the
almost
cra-
with witness. Like
the, cra-
there's
the
so many
also,
memes.
also the crash before Lawrence. Oh
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I almost forgot that
yeah,
one. So,
yeah.
yeah.
I apparently forgot to use my beast block palette on Lucarius. Like I know what happened, but I was just fighting with bolt paper only.
Oh really? You
So
didn't
that
use it at all?
yeah, I didn't have a beast block palette apparently, so I had to fight second phase and I just died. So I got wrecked. And
Damn. Okay.
then I died twice in moon presses, but yeah.
I would
Oh
like to
well.
ask, Alma, when the game crashed, how did that make you feel?
Very, very happy, obviously. I mean, right from the start, I was just like getting killed by the wolf. It just put me like in just a bad mood, and like I can't totally blame the game. Like I did a lot of mistakes that I shouldn't do after running this game for like 3 years, more than 3 years even. So, but yeah, no, that crash was like the cherry on the cake. Or I don't know if that's how you say it in English.
You say it however you want.
Yeah, yeah,
Words are
that
made up.
works.
They mean
I
nothing.
think. But yeah, well, GGDP, it's deserved. You
GG.
played better than me, so yeah.
You also got kind of unlucky, to be honest. Like I think I know what happened for Lucarius, but having to fight second phase is so rough.
Yeah. I actually got robbed by from my backstab. I need to see that again because I actually got to the backstab parts, but I don't know why the first charge or two didn't register. So yeah, I
Yeah.
have no idea what happened there. Yeah, it's just another stuff from this run.
Another day of running Bloodborne.
Yeah, but I think I'm done actually. Like it's was probably my last time I was playing that game. So
Oh, feels bad, man. Well,
yeah,
I will keep my title as a friend slayer.
yeah,
Uh,
exactly. You're
uh,
unbeatable for us, DP. You're just too good.
yeah, if you're friends, you better not go against me. No chance.
Can't be stopped.
Exactly.
But GG was fun.
Yeah, GG. I hope it was still kind of fun for people watching. So yeah.
Remember, everybody, we have another run between Forest and Lynn tomorrow. It's very early in the morning if you're over here in Burgerland or you're Burgerland adjacent. And it's in the afternoon for the EU. And if you're in Australia or something, East Asia, figure it out. I don't know your time zones. Not my problem. But yeah, at 7:30 EST or 1:30 CEST, there will be another race. So just remember.
No was, guys. Don't skip it. Do it.
Ivan will be commentating. He knows a lot more about the game than I do, and he's French. So it'll just be a better experience.
He knows a little bit about the game, just a little.
You could say that. I think he's an okay time, I guess.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
I could probably beat him, first try. If you don't count the tries before the try, I beat him.
Nice. I think we're gonna rate Gidano, so stream's gonna end soon. You better all be there for the next race.
I'm writing down all your names. I can see who's in chat. I'm writing down the names if you aren't there. I will send a PS4 and a copy of Bloodborne to your house, and I will make you run the game. And you don't want to do that.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. Don't do it.
Raid should be starting soon. Thanks everyone for watching. Fun race. Good job to everybody.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Have a good one.
Yep.
Bye-bye. Okay, we just raided. GG, guys.
Yeah.